What is Determined Women of Destiny?
What is Determined Women of Destiny?
What is Determined Women of Destiny?
So, what is Determined Women of Destiny?
Really, can someone tell me what is Determined Women of Destiny?
This ain't your average talk show, honey. This is where passion meets purpose, where women receive empowerment and encouragement, infused with information and inspiration, but more than anything else, motivation to live their best life. So I want you to grab a cup of coffee or a spot of tea. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
There goes a woman of God. They be looking like, whoa, man. There goes a woman of God. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman first. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman too. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman true. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman. Oh.
Hey, good people, it's Yvonne, the Motivator Man. You're checking out Determined Women of Destiny, the place where amazing women doing amazing things come to show off. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. My guest today has taken the art of braiding and really have made it an art. This woman does things with braids you couldn't even imagine. I am going to welcome now to the show, Teddie, the Braid Artist. Welcome, Teddie.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been checking out Teddie's stuff for quite a while online. And what drew my attention is that she had a braided hat. And this hat was hot as fish grease. And then I started looking at her other pictures and realized that you compete as a braider in hair shows. So tell me, when did you start braiding? I know all little girls love to braid, but you went far and beyond. So when did you start braiding? And when did you know that your love for braiding would take you places people could only dream of?
I have been braiding a long time, since I was younger. I actually was going to Michigan State University to be a certified public accountant. And then I went to a David Humphrey's Hump the Grinder hair show in Detroit. I think it was like in 1993. And I saw like Mr. Little, Little Willie, John Gooden, all these guys just doing this real fabulous stuff on the stage. And I got excited. So I came back home and I enrolled in cosmetology school because I said I wanted to go be on the stage like they were. Well, Hump started doing beauty school showdowns, so I entered the first beauty school showdown in 1994. And after that, after I graduated from beauty school, then I moved on to Detroit and just started doing hair shows there.
Oh my goodness. I just have to say all of the names that you spoke about because I went to beauty school in 1981.
Oh,
And
okay.
all of the names you spoke about were names that we would talk about in class. Like one day I'm gonna be like, Hump, and everybody, he may not have known that we called him Hump, but that's what we called him. Like who else was back then? Oh, Reggie Wells, which nobody hears of anymore because Oprah has snatched him up to be her own makeup artist. Yeah,
okay.
That's why you have not heard about Reggie Wells anymore because Reggie Wells was the hottest makeup artist. I started beauty school because I wanted to be a makeup artist. And they said, oh yeah, you'll get makeup here. That much makeup, child, that much makeup. It wasn't until I was in my 50s I went to mud. But you had to learn on your own, and we didn't have videos. So it's so good to hear all those names. I had forgotten about them. And you wanted to go to school to be an accountant, and
yes, I did.
You ended up the braid artist.
Yes.
So after you won your first competition, Tell us how that felt and how did that motivate you into doing more competitions?
Well, the first competition I participated in was in beauty school, and I did hair in the competition. And even though I won first place, I scored a total of 89 points out of 90. Back then, your nose pierce wasn't popular, so they took off a point for that.
Wow.
Then the first braid competition I participated in was, I think that I won was in 97. It was a last minute thing. I hadn't planned on competing. We had went to, I don't know if it was the Proud Lady or Browner Brothers. And one of the girls that was with me said she a model. And I won first place then.
Wow. Bonner Brothers. There's
Yes.
another name. And they're still going strong. And I had, in 2005, my daughter was in beauty school, 5 months pregnant. And for her birthday, she just wanted to go to see a real hair show. So 5 months pregnant, here we are on the plane going to the hair show, and she enters as a student and wins third place.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was Mr. Dwight from the Real Housewives from Atlanta. He was one of the judges, and he scolded her because with her hairstyle, she had a bow, but the bow was fabricated. And he said, you would have got first place if you would have made that bow yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're struggling back home. She's got this long banner. She got this high trophy. And I'm like, I'll hold it. She says, no, big belly and everything. She walked through the airport. Everybody's like, what happened? I won.
I know, you'd be so excited.
But it was so interesting this show because the girl in the barber competition was upside down. And
I know who you're talking about.
She was suspended. And it was like her scissors looked like Edward Scissorhands. And then when she came down and stood up, this haircut was fierce. Just fierce. So I know the excitement for you going there had to be over the top, competing and then winning.
Yes, it was.
And people don't realize, oh, well, okay, they wanted the competition. Well, it doesn't just give you a name. Those competitions come with money.
Yes.
And that's the reason why people compete.
Yes.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to break because when I come back, I want you to tell us a little bit about, of course, your braiding, but all of the wonderful places that your talent has taken you.
Okay.
So you guys, you know what I always say, come on back. If you're cooking dinner, turn that chicken over, throw them kids in that bathtub, but make sure you come back because there's some good stuff coming.
My name is Kamisha Farkason, CEO and founder of Concrete HR Solutions, LLC, a consulting firm providing concrete solutions for all of your HR needs. Here at Concrete, our mission is to enhance our clients' opportunities for success. We ensure that the right numbers of the right people are in the right jobs at the right time with the right training, all while promoting positive employee relations and making sure that you remain compliant. We understand that human resources is the support arm of an organization. It's about driving efficient business results, driving your mission through effective people management and minimizing risk. What sets us apart is that Concrete is not only for small businesses. We provide solutions for employees and job seekers as well. It all begins with a conversation. Head on over to concretehrsolutionsllc.com today to book your first 10-minute consultation. The people within your organization are your most important investment. And here at Concrete, we are in the business of taking care of your investment.
And welcome back. If you're just joining us, as I always say, shame on you. You know, the good stuff is in the beginning, But y'all know I love y'all. Thank you so much for your support and encouragement. I can't do what I do without you. So you're checking out Determined Women of Destiny. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I am talking with Teddie, the braid artist, and she's been telling us about her love for braiding, how it has taken her from her college thought of being, into accounting to now she travels the world and she does competitions with her braids, and they're just not regular braids. So you're like, okay, Yvonne, so what type of braids does she do? To make sure that you watch this show to the end, I will have pictures at the end of all of her work. So you're going to have to stay with me until the end so you can see all of the good stuff that she has. So Teddie, welcome back. And please tell us, where do you live? And if where you live was a motivation for what you do, and where you live is braiding a big thing or, not.
Well, now I'm back in Michigan. When I first started, I was in Detroit, and Detroit was known as the hair capital of the world. They do all type of fabulous things with hair here. So it was, and to see the other people on the stage doing hair and doing all these fantasy styles, it was just motivation. I wanted to do what they were doing, but I knew I wasn't from Detroit, so I had to do something to stand out. That's what prompted me to go on and do it with braids.
Okay. And how do you find your models for your braiding competitions?
Well, I actually do a lot of more hair shows than competitions. So now I go online and I see, if someone, wants to model, or I may ask someone who's modeled for me before.
Okay. And you said you do a lot more hair shows than competitions. So I'm assuming, so get me wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong. So when you do hair shows, that's more of a show off of what you do than, okay, I'm getting paid for what I do.
Right. So when you do the hair shows, it's just like you said. Now, when I was competing, like that was the Browner Brothers, the Proud Lady, that's where you get paid, if you win a competition. Some hair shows, if it's a competition during the hair show, then there's a possibility you can win. It just depends on who's giving the show and what kind of show it is.
Now, when did you know exactly this is what I'm going to do to make my money? This is what I'm going to do to make my living. This is what I'm going to do, because I love it this much.
When I went to that hair show
and you won.
Like I said, I saw, well, no, it was before I started. When I went to the hair show, I saw those, all those guys on stage, and it was just, just the fantasy and the excitement. They were not only just doing hair, like Mr. Little was making hair spin, and Little Willie was unzipping things, and John Gooden had the big, fancy like French rolls and all that. So it was just to see them on the stage entertaining like that and doing these great things with hair. I just wanted to be a part of it. So like I said, I went to cosmetology school. I got my license, moved to Detroit, and started doing hair, and it's just been history since.
People don't realize that cosmetology is an art, because they'll say, oh, she just does hair. No. This is a science, and it is an art. You don't have to go to school for something that's just they just do. And I know for myself, when I was in Cosmo school, and even to this day, if I go into somebody's salon, this is natural under here, so I don't go often. I go to visit my girl at her salon. But I can walk in a place and say, hey, that relaxer's done, because I can smell it. And people are like, how can you smell it? I said, because there's a smell right before you start burning that sucker, and it's very, very pungent of sulfur, And also the art is you have to know what angle to cut a hair. When you're braiding, you have to know how, and see, I'm not a braider. I braid my own hair, but it don't be looking professional. It just be looking good enough for me to make it through the week so I could take it out and do something else with it. But, you have to know how much hair to put in that braid. It's symmetry, and I love the fact that you call yourself a braid artist because you absolutely are that. I mean, some of your styles, like, and then when you have your models, like the black and white with the dice, that one was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And then everybody's hair was matching it. And I know people are saying, Yvonne, we don't know what you're talking about. That's right, because you're going to watch the show to the end, because that's where the picture's going to be. I ain't playing with y'all. I seen the analytics. Y'all be watching 12 minutes, then cut off. You're going to watch this whole show because Teddie, the hair braider, deserves that. She is such a phenomenal artist. And just for me to reach out to her and say, hey, I've been watching your stuff for a couple of years. Can I interview you? I would love for my women to hear about you. I think you would be motivational and inspirational. And there wasn't a maybe I'll get back to you. She said yes and sent me her phone number. So I really appreciate that. I really do. Sight unseen, you was like, yeah, let's just do this.
Yes, I did.
And I know that your craft, your gift, your talent has made you money, but making money is business. So how did you create the business that you have now to be lucrative? Because there's so many different components in business. And it's just not about, and I keep telling the women that I interact with, it's just not about, oh, I got a gift, I got a talent, I got an idea. There's a business of business. And you don't stay in business as long as you have without knowing that. So let's just talk about, how you created a business out of this.
Well, I started, when I came here, I started at a braid shop. I was working at Everett's Cornrows, and the way they did things, because it was my second salon that I worked in. Because first I worked with Mr. Little, and then I worked with Sheila at Everett's Cornrows. And the way they did things down now, that was 95. So we were doing consultations when you came in. We wanted to see your hair, how long, how short, the style you wanted, the exact size of braid. And we were doing deposits back then. And I just was, since I came here, and in order for me to get started and to grow my clientele, I thought it was a great idea to go under everybody else's prices. And then as long as my work was quality, so that's how people started coming in. Then when they started seeing all the different things that I could do, and long as I was being professional, which if I said I was going to be ready for you at a certain time, I was. When my deposit slip said 9 o'clock is your appointment, 9 o'clock was your appointment. And if I said, if you late 15 minutes later, whatever, I'm going to deduct or whatever. If I was late, I would do the same thing.
Wow, that's something, because we all know we'll sit in a hair salon and 35 minutes later, we still waiting and they chatting doing somebody else's hair. And that is really a professional move. How did you feel in the 90s when they decided, oh, well, braiding is now an enhancement and you have to be licensed for it?
Well, the thing for me, I didn't like that, but I saw where, like, I felt like some braiders needed to go to school for just for the, like the health part, as far as knowing diseases and infections and what to look for. But most of us, it's a gift, it's our culture. That's what we do. Most of us, that's how we grew up braiding. I wasn't concerned about it because I was a licensed cosmetologist and still am. So I fell under all of that. But at first, I still don't think that you should have to go to school for the braiding, but for all the hygiene, the health, the sanitation, all of that, I do, because it's things that you need to know.
Yeah, I felt some type of way also. And when I left school, I didn't do makeup immediately, and I went into nails. And you know, you had to get licensed at the same time. It was a beauty enhancement of the nails. So I figured, since I was a licensed cosmetologist, you know, at that time in 1980, what was it, 82, when I became licensed, you know, you could touch somebody from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet. And
Right.
I didn't think I had to get a license for doing it. So a couple of years later, I wanted to teach nails, and they told me I had to go back to school. And I'm like, you know how long I've been doing nails? At that point, I was doing nails like almost 15 years.
Wow.
And I was like, I can teach you, you know, what are you talking about? And yeah, I thought that was very strange. And I'm a instructor now, though I don't teach anymore. But you have to now get a license to teach for each thing, when before you just had a license to be a beauty instructor. Now waxing, now nails, now hair, now pedicure. Yeah, this right now I think it's still like $100 each license.
Wow.
Right. Things have
I
changed
did not know that.
drastically. And we don't have anyone that looks like us lobbying for us, because it's not anyone that doesn't look like us that's doing really braids. I don't see anyone of a lighter color. Only women and men of color I see at the braid competitions.
Right, right.
But there's no lobbying for us. So we have to go under the regulations that's stipulated by people that don't even really know our hair texture.
Exactly.
Because when I was in school, you had 2 Black mannequins. And luckily for me, there was a Black teacher there, and I'm left-handed. So most people cut hair like this. I cut hair like this because I see everything upside down. And luckily for me, the Black teacher was left-handed. Without her, it would have been, even though I was talented, it would have been rough, you know?
Wow.
And we only had, like I said, 2 Black mannequins. So if you wanted to learn Black hair, you had to really, really work at it. You had to find somebody who was doing it, because Black hair care was not on the wasn't part of the licensure. It was a state board set and hair cutting and hygiene. It had nothing to do with braids. It had nothing to do with using a curling iron. And now we have flat irons. Yeah, it had none of that back then. So I'm really dating myself. 1981, I'm dating myself. But yeah, we've come a long, long way in this business, and to finally be respected. You know, 2018 is when I gave up my brushes. I don't do nails anymore. I don't do makeup. Them daggone proms was killing me in 2018. And the last prom I did, I want a nude look. I was like, honey, please don't tell me nude, because do you know a nude look is more harder to do than anything else?
Wow.
Yeah, so that last prom, and it was my goddaughter, hey, Joy, I said, this is it, I'm done. And in December 2018, I gave it up, plus my eyesight is not the way it used to be. And I just don't have time to go back to get trained, but I still have a love. Beauty is my very first love, always has been, always will be. And when I see someone like you, not only taking your talent and just presenting it, but presenting it in such a way, oh my gosh, how do you come up with all of the ideas for the styles that you do? Because some of those styles are like up to the ceiling. And these people are walking around like this ain't heavy. I'm like, girl, I know it's heavy. Don't walk. And then them little bitty ones too, like a size 6, it's got all this hair. I'm like, I know it's heavy. Stop acting like it's not heavy.
Yeah. Sometimes I dream stuff, and a lot of times I draw whatever I'm thinking, or like if I see something, like I may see something in hair, or I may see like a tree shaped different, and then I come home and I say, oh, I want to do that in braid. So I can get inspiration from a lot of things, but before I do them, I usually try to draw them up to see how, you know, they gonna look.
I think I saw a clip one time, and I was trying to go back to see if I could see it again, but I think it was a clip you did one time, and I commented on it because this clip was so doggone fierce. I don't know if it was a fashion show or if it was a beauty show, but when you came out, I remember everybody just started screaming at all of your models. It was that phenomenal that you had a whole room of people just like, oh my God. And actually, that's what your styles really do.
Thank
You
you.
know? And then you say, you dream of it. You'll see something and then you sketch it out, and then you can put that in braid form. To me right now, and I'm a creative. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it, I dream it, and now I'm going to braid that sucker, and then it's going to come out. And then once you do that, do you have to build your whole set around that of what you're going to display?
Well, usually what I do, I may get like a theme in mind, and I start with the costumes first. And then from the costumes, I see who all is going to model. I have some styles already that I want to do, and then I see who's going to model for me. And then that way I know who's going to wear what. But I usually always start with the costume first.
Now, do you make the costumes, or do you have someone make them for you?
No, back before I got married, I had a seamstress, and she would do stuff. But after I got married, then because we were military, we were gone a lot. So when I came back, she was no longer sewing. So now I go online and I piece some different stuff together.
Oh, okay. And you say you're married, so you're a wife, you're a mother. How do you juggle all of that with your traveling and your competitions and your shows?
Well, I gotta have a good supportive husband, that's for sure. Because well, now my children are 17 and 15, so it's easier, they doing their thing. But before, when I did a lot of the hair shows, it's just, he would take care of them and I go do the show. And now my daughter's been modeling with me now for a while, so she goes with me.
Tell me, how many different places in the world outside of the United States have you competed?
I've only competed in the United States, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. All my going to Italy, Hawaii, and all that stuff was because my husband was in the military.
And while you were moving back and forth, did you compete at that time, or you just waited until you got back to the States and got stationary?
Yes. I actually had been away from the whole hair thing at one time. Like, I was doing hair wherever we were stationed, but as far as like what I call creative and hair shows, I had been away from it all for like 11, 12 years. And then I came back in 2010, and that was my first hair show in years. And I really thought people had forgot about me. And Hump was like, no, people are still asking where you are. So I did a hair show then, and then we left again, and we went to Virginia. I went to Atlanta, and I participated in a braid show. And then when I came back here, so just like we've been back here now 5 years. So since I've been back here, I was able to participate in the Universal Circus. So we made history doing that.
Yeah.
Then
love that.
we were one of the first to have an exhibit at the Charles H. Wright African American Museum. So I did that. And then I did a head wrap show. So I've been doing some things since I've been back.
Okay, I got to go to break again, got to pay these bills. But when we get back, please tell us. We want to discuss the museum piece and how it felt to be part of that. So you guys make sure you come back. And remember, you ain't seeing now one picture to the end. Now, do what you got to do, but make sure y'all come back.
Are you a small business owner looking for advertising and marketing in a distinctively different and innovative way? Determined Women of Destiny is offering sponsorship packages starting as low as $25 a week. There is no budget too small for us, and we will work with you to make sure that your product or service will be seen to as many women as possible. For serious inquiries, please email determinedwomendestiny@gmail.com.
Hey, thank you so much for coming back. This is Determined Women of Destiny. I'm Yvonne, the Motivator Man. I have had the honor and the pleasure to be speaking with Teddie, the hair braider. Now, Teddie in the first segment told us that she was going to college for something totally different, took her love for braiding, and started competing after she went to a hair show. And then the second segment, she talked about, a little bit more about her hair braiding and, who she worked for and how she expanded her business. And she also talked about being part of Soul Circus in the African American Museum. So now I want to ask you, Teddie, how did it feel to have an exhibit at the African American Museum?
That was very emotional for me, because sometimes, when you think about what you do, you just think, oh, I'm just doing this. But like, once again, like everything that I've done has been all because of David Humphreys. He will recommend me for something. So like all the magazines that I've been in, Ripley's and the museum, they actually were supposed to already have the exhibit up, and things kept happening to where they didn't. And then they end up getting in touch with Hump. And then Hump said he felt that I would be great for it. And we were supposed to just do like 3 mannequins. And I asked, could I do a full body mannequin? And they said, yeah. And it just happened to be the first thing you saw when you entered the exhibit.
Wow. My goodness. I'm going to have to get that picture from you, because I need to see. I need to see that. We were so excited as a people that finally we had our own museum. The Holocaust victims, they had their museum. And we have museums around the country, because I live on Long Island, and in Hempstead, Long Island, we have the African American Museum, but we don't have a concentrated place that holds all of our history. So when that was developed, we had the fist in the air like, yes, thank you for recognizing not only our struggle, but us here in America, because, we are the invisible man and woman, and to be celebrated like that was phenomenal. And the Soul Circus, for people that don't know, the Soul Circus, again, is something for people of color. It's our circus. And now that Barnum and Bailey has gone away, that's the only circus we have to take our children. And I remember the year that I went, and to see all of these different acts from all over the world, and it's people of color from all over the world. And I was just, I had to be like almost 50. And I was sitting there next to the kid, like, did you see that? Oh my God. Oh my, he just put his body in the book. Ah! I was like, I was like a little kid. And there were places that I didn't even know on this planet that there were people that looked like me there.
Yeah.
So that was even better. So you were part of that. Tell me exactly, what did you do in the circus?
For that one, Hump recommended and referred me for that as well. And I thought it would be great to play more to the children. So I had my daughter model, and I did like a hoop skirt with teddy bears all over it. And then her hairstyle had teddy bears in it.
Wow. And I know the kids were like, especially the teenagers, every teenager probably went home and tried to braid their hair and put a teddy bear in it. Because I know if I was a teenager, I would have tried it. I would have tried it. And you speak of Mr. Humphreys, as someone who has referred you over and over and over again. Tell us how important it is, because I always say it, they don't listen to me, but how important it is to have a network of people that not only support you, encourage you, but refer you.
Yeah, he changed my life because, like I said, I was going to school to be an accountant, and I went to one of his hair shows, and from there, I wanted to do something else. He gives hair entertainers a platform to be able to show your creativity, and if you do right by him, he's definitely gonna look out for you. And he's referred me for a lot of different things.
Keep your circle and your tribe, ladies, full of people that you can count on, and make sure that you're accountable too. It's reciprocity. Yeah. It's not just I'm pulling from you, pulling from you, pulling for you, but when you need me, can I have something to give you also? So this way we all can eat. My favorite saying is that, whether my tribe and I eat hamburgers or we eat filet mignon, we all gonna eat at this table. It's not gonna be one person eating and everybody else watching, because we're definitely in this together. But for someone who's going into beauty school and their gift and their talent is braiding and they love it as you do, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them to keep going, take different classes. You can never learn too much. You got to stay up on top of your game. Always try something different. Don't put yourself in a box, and don't let somebody else put you in a box. Whatever you think you want to try, just try it.
And as you said earlier about going to school, the one thing people can't take away from you is education. So I wouldn't say bypass getting your cosmetology license. I think that's one of the best things I ever did. My mother won't say yes, because I dropped out of college at the time to go to beauty school, even though I went back to college later, but that was my first love. So I always tell everyone, you got to follow your dreams, because if I would have lived and just went on to college and got that degree, I would have always wondered what would have happened if I would have went to beauty school. And I spent 40 years, doing nails. I never competed, but I had a mobile business. I loved going door to door. I loved all of the people that, was referred to me, all of my clients. I enjoyed that for such a long period of time. So I definitely say, follow your dreams. But like Teddie has said, you got, Mr. Humphreys was your mentor. You have to have someone to mentor you. You have to continue to learn. That's the one thing. We think that when we arrive, it stops. It doesn't. It keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. When I decided, not decided, it fell in my lap to be a content creator. I wasn't tech savvy. I'm still not tech savvy. I'm still learning stuff. I had a phone call with a very dear friend of mine today, said, hey girl, if you do this, that will happen and you get paid for it. I was like, what? So today was a learning day for me also, it's always. So tell us, what can we expect from Teddie, the braid artist, going forward? Because it looks like you're full steam ahead.
Well, I have a hair show that I'm participating in September 18th in Detroit for David Humphreys, the Grinder. So I'll be doing that then, and then I don't know what else I'm gonna do right after that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be keeping our eye out on Teddie, the braid artist. I always want to say hair, but it's braiding. It's not that it's not hair, but we want to specify. Teddie is a braid artist. And like I promised you, at the end of the show, you will get to see pictures of all of her work. And please reach out to her if you are in the Michigan area. And, just let her know, I saw the show. Hey, girl, hey. I have cousins in Michigan, so I'm going to be tagging them on the show saying, let her know as a fellow Michiganian that, you support her. Teddie, thank you so much for coming on Determined Women of Destiny, telling us about your journey. taking your gift and your talent to the next level. Thank you so much for letting us know a lot of the things that you have done. And I will still be watching your stuff because I love all your stuff, all
Thank
of
you.
it. So everybody
Thank
knows
you.
I end my show with, y'all keep doing what you're doing until what you're doing gets done. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, good people, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. As promised, photos of Teddie the Braid Artist's work. Every hat is hair braided together to make the hat. Every hairstyle, braided hair to make the hairstyle. Teddie the hair braider, thank you for being on Determined Women of Destiny. And please keep doing what you're doing because we're loving everything that you have done.
There goes a woman of God.